What's up, YouTube? It's Rashawn here, back with another episode of Shawnee's Lab, and today I will be doing a movie review. So I wanted to always do a review on If Bill Street Could Talk. So while I was in the process of doing my move, I had to stay with my cousin for a little bit, so they had access to all these movies that I didn't get a chance to watch yet. So it came out last year. The time period was set in the early '70s in Harlem. The main characters are Tish and Alonzo, and it was directed by Stephen James. The main characters are named Tish and Alonzo. They were played by Stephen James and Kiki Lane, and it was written and directed by Barry Jenkins and based on the novel by James Baldwin, who was a fantastic writer, by the way. Um, so the movie starts off, showing Tish and Alonzo, as kids. It's really cute. You get to see like black love at its earliest stages. Like the innocence of being kids and them just being friends, but having that kind of close feeling to each other. I felt like that was really cool. You really got to see. I give credence to the director because he did a great job with putting the story in like a linear way, but it was like kind of being told, like really backwards. Like it was really interesting how the story is being told and also how the movie is being played out. Like I love the direction and the scenes. I want to give him a shout out for the lighting, like the skin on our people looked great in that movie. Like the heavily melanated people they got to portray the characters. Like Ajuné did a great job. Of course Regina King did a great job. Kiki Lane, Stephen James, they all did a great job portraying these characters. So the gist of the story is about their love. He Alonzo comes from this real uppity black family. The upscale black church family. He comes from that family, where they're holier than thou. Well, his father wasn't, but his mother and his sisters are very holier than thou, and they didn't really get along with Tish's family, who's more real reserved. They're just the typical hardworking together black family. She has her sister, her mom, who was played. I mean, her sister was played by Tika Sumter, by the way. I think it's Tika Sumter, but her sister. No, it wasn't Tika Sumter. Yeah, the sister's played by no, not Tika Sumter. I forget who the sister's played by, but I know her name. I just can't think of it right now. But she had her family, then he had his family. They didn't really get along, and they showed that in the scenes where she had got pregnant and she had to tell his family. His mom was like damning the baby and telling it was going to hell. Like she basically wish all this negativity and hate on towards this unborn child. And you know what? I'm glad they showed the light on the hypocritical and just the nastiness of how those upper echelon church people can get. Like they're supposed to be the best of the community. They're supposed to set the example. They're supposed to help out the people lost in their walk, but yet and still they judge and condemn and damn the mistakes that people make. Like that was a great scene done by Ajane and Kiki Lane as well as the other characters, but it was mostly Kiki Lane and Ajane, but they did a great job from the door a young woman having to tell a church boy's mother that she's now impregnated about his impregnated with his baby. So it shows their relationship, how they are together, how they got together, how they fell in love. The guy Alonzo is very well rounded. He speaks French. He's intelligent. He's like craftsman. He's really good with his hands. And it like I really love just seeing them grow from children to adults and young adults and falling in love and like from the first time it was just so innocent. Like I really love this book. That's why I said, James Baldwin is a great writer because he really went, deep into, black love, like I said, from his early stages, from them being young instead of being preteens, from the first time that they kissed to the first time they had sex. Like everything was so innocent. And, you just felt it sitting there watching it. You felt that love coming out of the screen. Like that's what I really enjoyed about the movie. Like I was really hooked. I had my popcorn, I had my drink, and I did not move. I had to go to the bathroom the whole movie. I was like, no, this is really good. Now, the moral to the story is, she gets pregnant or whatever, and they were inside a grocery store, and this white guy, was trying to grab on to Tish, and Alonzo, roughed him up, threw him out the store, touching on his woman as he rightfully should. And this police officer came in and tried to arrest him, but the people of the community, the Asian grocery store owner, as well as people standbys, were like, well, no, he tried to, attack that woman, and he's standing up for his woman. You cannot arrest him for that. So from that moment on, the cop had a vendetta against Alonzo. So what happened was, a white woman was raped. I'm not even sure she actually was raped. No, I think she was raped, but a white woman was raped, but it happened in the dark. And the cop that wanted to arrest Alonzo but didn't because of the community, resistance. He tried to, he pinned it on Alonzo. And the crazy part is, there could have been no way Alonzo was even in the area. Like the whole thing, like I love how the book goes into early '70s Harlem culture, and it showed the music, it showed the stores, it showed the black people, it showed black life in that time period, it showed the things that we go through, the heavenly presence racism that was still going on. So that was an interesting nod to the the novel itself, black love as well as black struggles. Like it was a great to me, this was a great black story packaged into one. So, when he pinned it on him, he gets arrested, and the rest of the movie it plays out with, the family, trying to, proclaim his innocence. And actually, it wasn't even a white woman; it was a Latino woman. It was like a Spanish woman, because I remember Regina King's character, the mother, she had to go. I think it was like to Puerto Rico, Mexico, or something like that, so she could talk to the girl, so she could, show him the picture of Lonzo. And the thing about the girl is, when I feel as though the whole thing was set up, like I think the book was, it's kind of like you had to come up with your own reason as to why, they were able to arrest him on a case that they know damn well he had nothing to be a part of. But that just shows how racist, the system is, and how it definitely was, and how, it, definitely goes against black men. But, the rest of the story plays out with them trying to release him from jail, hiring a lawyer, everybody's working hard, they're getting jobs, like they're really trying to get him out. And the sad part about it is, his mother and his sisters, they didn't even want to have nothing to do about it. They, and you could tell like he had separated early on from his family, because you could tell he didn't want to be that, that church guy. He wanted to be, like a free spirit. He was that a free spirited artist. I would definitely say he was definitely a free spirited black man, and he just didn't, feel the need, to be under his mother's whim as his sisters were. And his father, you can tell his father, he was definitely a bit of a drunk, but he definitely, I think he was just tired of his wife. I do not condone, how he, struck her down. But in hindsight, she did damn his grandchild, but it was not right for him to strike her down. But again, it was interesting to see how the story played out. He was in jail. They kept visiting every time she would visit him. She would be bigger. She would be telling him what's going on with the case, and they're talking to each other through this glass. And it was really interesting to see how they went from being in each other's faces to loving one another to protecting and talking and having those conversations to now having to face each other behind glass. Like imagine that love being taken away from you. So young, so fast, and over something that that the love of your life did not do. That was very unfortunate. Like, and then, so eventually she does have her son, but, they never was able to get him out of jail, because the woman, who fled to Puerto Rico or whatever, after she claimed that she saw Alonzo was the one who raped her, she never came back. She never came to, free him, or, proclaim that he was innocent or anything like that. So he ended up being stuck in jail, which was very unfortunate. Um, like that was really hard to see. His son had to visit him from jail. He was basically having a relationship with his son. Now I did like, as you can shoot over time, because it was early '70s, and the son is, he was about four, 3 or 4 less, towards the end of the movie. So they show, how later on, getting closer into the '80s, how the prisons were changing. So now they can do the visits, and he was able to, touch his son, and just be next to him. Basically, they were sitting at a table together. But I didn't really appreciate the ending. But again, I think that's just the whole basis of it. It wasn't necessarily about a happy ending. It was to point out, one, how great black love can be, and how how beautiful young black love is, and then how it was being affected and how it was being counteracted with the system and racist police officers, and false rape cases, which something the Me Too movement is very prevalent of. Not saying that all are, but a lot of these cases are very questionable. But so it just like the movie was really really good. Like again, Stephen James, Kiki Lane, Anjanae Ellis, Regina King, they all did fantastic jobs. If they don't sweep in awards from this movie, I'm going to be upset. Now, like I said, I didn't really appreciate the ending of it, but I think James Baldwin wrote the ending like that for a reason, to show that not all not everything is a happy ending, and especially not for black people in that time period. But for the, in general, that was a really great movie. If you haven't checked it out, I definitely suggest that you watch it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like I said, the cinematic reveal of it, the lighting of it, the actors and actresses, the storyline, the black love. Like I'm telling you, once you sit there and watch their love story unfold, you're going to feel really connected to it. You're really connected to it, especially if you're around, you're young, like, me. Like the movie is based on people, in their early 20s. So, like me, like, they were about 22, 23, so it's based on people in their early 20s. So, the movie was really, really good. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you definitely check it out. If Beale Street Could Talk.